Would you like to see in that act, though, the ability to perhaps bring on more civilian employees that may be able to do some of the functions? You know, I mean, we've talked about this in the past, but things like directing traffic at a lights-out intersection that may not necessarily take the sergeant, who's the guy available to go do it, and could be done by an auxiliary officer or something akin to an auxiliary officer. Is there an opportunity within this act to help alleviate some of the pressures of budget on the police services? Because this has been talked about a fair bit.
So the first issue of the budget is it a reality or is it a myth? I think police have inherited a whole lot of service and responsibilities that historically weren't ours, but nobody else is doing them. So if they're going to replicate that to the same standard with the same expectation, then you'll have to compensate to that same standard and same expectation. So an example would be mental health. If you were going to replicate what we do as first responders to people in crisis, it would be EMS people, I guess, but they'd have to have use of force options, or we're going to be there anyway. So if we're going to be there anyway, we have the secure facility to drive the mechanism to drive the person to the hospital. We have the crisis intervention training, or are starting to make sure we have it. And we have the psychiatric person riding with us now to make sure it's a positive outcome for all concerned.
And I think circumstances like that, everybody would agree it's better to have a police officer there. But I'm thinking like paid duty on a construction site. I don't know if that takes place here, but it certainly does in Toronto.
Yep.
And you know, traffic control at a parade or those kind of things where you don't necessarily need to have a full uniformed officer or that level of training in a uniformed officer to handle the job. That there may be opportunities within the force, certainly not for every circumstance, but there may be opportunities within the force that those lower level tasks that perhaps don't need a fully trained required officer. Is that an option now, and is that something you'd like to see? If not,
anything that gets the job done, you know, everybody's all ears. But the fact is, paid duties, for instance, by having those 300 to 400 paid duty officers visible in downtown Toronto every day, no matter where they are, at the front of a furrier or a leather store or a jewelry store in a mall, or they're at a construction site, they're visible police officers, all singing, all dancing, with direct contact to the police department and all the use of force options, and they're a force multiplier in terms of public safety and the symbol of police presence that you don't get the same with a security guard uniform or a golf shirt, right? So that is money that the taxpayers aren't really paying for. That's private money putting those people in play in the community, and it's a force multiplier, it's a police presence, and with the shootings and things going on in various times of the day and the bold robberies and break-and-enters and things that have happened in Toronto, for instance, I don't think it's a bad thing to see more police presence and it enhances public safety. In terms of the other kinds of jobs that police officers are currently cast in, if there's somebody, a civilian or a special constable that could do it, then that would call into question the standards and the expectations that have been imposed on us. And if they don't apply to us, or do apply to us, then they'll have to apply to them, or not. Do you know what I mean?